Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll talk about control flow in Java. So, the main objective is to explain first what is a control flow. We'll see some types of decision making statement like if and switch, and also some loops for while, do while, and for each, which most cases we use them during programming or during any software development. Okay, so at the end we will give some practical example use case that will try to summarize everything you have learned in this chapter, that is part 6 of chapter 1. Okay, so what first, a normal question that we should ask ourselves: why to learn this control flow? So the basic definition we can give to control flow is that there are control flow statements decide the order in which statements are executed. Okay, because as we know in programming we can have different types of statement that we want to execute. Okay, for analogy we can say it's like a roadmap or traffic system that guide vehicle, when vehicle have to go, when vehicle have to stop. Okay, the control flow guide program execution in general. Okay, and the purpose to avoid sometimes what we call linear or chaotic execution, making decision repeat task, and sometimes to avoid that some process or some program execute without stopping. So this is not a good way. So this is why we need to understand exactly why do we need to learn control flow and where we use it and when to use it, and also especially which one to use for a specific task. Okay, so the first one and the simple one is this if statement, that is condition. It will execute when a condition evaluated is true. For instance, if you come back to our example of vehicle, like traffic light, when it's green, maybe the car should go. When it's red, maybe the car should stop. So it's like some kind of condition. So let's see this example. For instance, we have age. Then we ask ourselves, if age, this age is bigger or equal to 18, we print something. Okay, so if this condition is true, then we print. In our case, it's true because as we can see here, age is 18, and here we have 18, which is true, so it will print this 18. Okay, and this one we have already learned it in operator. You see, this is the reason we need to learn first operator before understand what is the control flow. Okay, then the next one we can ask ourselves, in the same example, if the age is not satisfied, what to do? Like in our previous example, as you can see here, we have only one condition. Then if it is not true, what to do? So this is the reason we also need what you call the if-else statement or condition. In this case, if the first statement is not true, then the second one will be executed. Why in the previous example, if the first one is not true, the second, we don't have something to do. So this is, we can give analogy like for a fork road, one path if true and another if not true. At least we have two conditions to execute. Okay, so then we can move to another one, what we call the if else if. Okay, so if and else if, sometimes we can call it check multiple conditions sequentially. Sometimes it happens we want to print a lot of things based on some specific condition. For analogy, we can give like for grade. If is A, then we print excellent. If it is B, we print good. If it is C, we print pass. This is just one example. So how can you do this in sequentially? For instance, let's assume we have a marks that is 82. Then we check the first one. If is big than 90, we can say excellent. Then else if the mark is bigger or equal to 75, we print good. Then else if again, we print pass. Then else we print fail. Let's explain this. The first condition, it will check if this mark is bigger than this. Our case is not the case. As you can see in our case, we have 18, which is not true. So we are not going to print excellent. Then if this is bigger than this one, we print good, which is in our case. So the other condition, we just stop here. The other one will not be checked because we have satisfied. We get satisfied. We get here that is true, which is satisfy our condition. So it will print exactly good, because if we don't need, the program will not continue to check the other condition, as you can see. Okay, and if all condition is not satisfied, then now whatever he will check fail, because that's mean if not this one, else if also is not this one, if also is not this one, then now always it will print in case the condition is not satisfied in the previous statement. Okay, this is why always this one is good. Sometimes also in some program we don't have this else. That's mean now we are almost sure in advance that one of the condition will be satisfied. But if you are not sure, it's good to say else to print this one, so that any whatever we have as condition, it will print at least one statement, which is good practice. Okay, then we have the next thing, if statement. So is if statement inside another, like if in if one condition I check another condition. For analogy, you can say asking multiple questions before deciding. For instance, let's see our example. We have age and mark. We say first, if the age is bigger than, I check for the marks. If this is not satisfied, we will not even enter inside the second condition. So this is what you have to keep here. The first condition, if it is satisfied, then it will go inside. If it is not satisfied, it will not even go inside to check the other. Okay, so then we now come back to what calls the switch statement, which select one block among many that we have based on some values. It's like a menu in a restaurant. Choose one item to execute. Maybe in menu you have many items you want to select. You select one. For instance, when you go to a ATM, you have different options. Maybe you select one of them to execute. Okay, so let's see one example. Here you have in the day that is 3. So which is similar to like if condition, but the only difference is that here it will based on some values. Okay, for instance, for the switch that is day here, with our case 1, system outprint Monday, then you say break. Or case 2, which is system out, we want to print Tuesday, then break, then we come back again to 3 to say to bring. Now as you can see, the day that is our variable here, when it give us 3, is that statement that will be a print. So in our case, Wednesday, that is here with will be print, as you can see. Okay, and we have what we call default, so that it will try to print default if we don't have the other option that are satisfied. Okay, and sometimes when we have some value, you will see it in some when you go advanced for some remake, that the type that this value should take. It's not all data type that it will take. We'll learn it later. Okay, so here we have what you call the for and while, do while. Okay, this kind of repeat code until a condition is satisfied or fail, something like that. Okay, so for analogy, you can see it's conveyor belt repeating the same task multiple times. Okay, for the for instance, as you can see, simple. We have for when I is 1 until the I is less than 2, we do I plus plus. What does mean? Then for instance, we start by index 1. We check 1 is less than 5 or equal. Yes, he will print 1. Then we go 1 plus 1. We have learned this also operator. What does mean? Then he will print again 2. Then we go until when this condition is not satisfied, then it will not print. If this condition is not satisfied, the loops will stop. It means it will not continue to execute. Okay, that is. So in general, for at least execute some value compared to while. Now let's see while. While is mean if the condition is not satisfied, he will not even enter to print something. Okay, so here we are lacking the j is 1, as you can see, we can see is less than 5, it will print at least 1. Then now when it's not satisfied, he will not print anything, as you can see. It's similar to for. As I say, the main difference between this for and while loops is that for it generally print at least one value, while for while it checks the condition. Maybe the first condition is not satisfied, then it will not print anything. Okay, now let's see do while. Compared to while, do while will always print at least one thing, then check if the condition is print. So you see, compared to here he do first before checking. Whatever the first value, he will print it before continue. So this is one of the main difference between while and do while. Okay, so this minimum it will print 1, then now he continue to check if this condition is satisfied or not. Okay, so this is the basic of control flow. As you can see, of course we will get one specific session to try to give more details and more practice about this condition, but since it's for basic user, some people who have never maybe learned Java, so this is the reason we give a simple example. Okay, when we start using, for instance, the IDE, I try to give you some strong practice so that you'll be able to understand even in some complicated case or complex case how to use this control flow. Okay, so this another example for loops. As you can see here, we have what you iterate over element of an array of collection. So here we have not learned this one, but we'll explain what is array later. So here we call this as array. Then now we want to print the value of the array this way, because we can never write a program. But array is one of the concepts that is used frequently in programming. Most of what we are doing is based on array. We learn it later, either a simple array or multidimensional array or even an array list, which we will learn later. Okay, so we have the last step that is related to break and continue. So sometimes we want to exit a loops based on some condition. Okay, so here if we try to use our for one, first we have check this one and this condition is satisfied, if you can see, because as you see here 1 is less than 5. So then we check inside, we enter in the loops. So since we enter here, now we check again. If the I is 3, we break. So it means it will print all value except when I is 3. So and when it's 3, he will break. It means he go out of the loop so that he will not continue, as you can see. So 1, he print 1, 2 satisfies the condition, he print 2, then 3 is here, I break, so I not continue. So this time is like in practical or real life, I have some list of students, then I'm checking of them or queue of people. I want to find a specific name. After I getting the person that I'm using, I stop. I don't need to continue check. I find the people I'm looking for, so I don't want to continue. So it's same idea here for the break. Okay, then continue is, I can say in other way, is like the opposite of break. Maybe in some words I can say like that. but skip current iteration and continue. Okay, here is exactly, I don't want to print the file. It's like if I find someone I don't like, I just skip him, I just jump him, I go to the next one. So that's what this means. So when I get I is 3, it will continue. That means he will not print I because I don't need it. It's same thing in data mining later when maybe you learn it. It's what you call mean you want to find a specific value and you want to use it or skip it. As you can see here he break, he don't want to stop, he don't print it. But here, as you can see here, we get it and we don't print it because we jump it, skip it, as you can see. So this is the reason we don't have this value. So I hope you understand this break and continue concept, which is simple and very useful for a big array, for instance, or even a real life, as I say, when you do a mining or try to find or skip some values. Okay, so now we are going to do our practice. We assume that we have a student grading system. Then now we give, for instance, 3 marks, as you can see, for subject. We want to calculate the average of this mark. Then if the average is big or equal to 50 and all of them also bigger than 40, we say pass, otherwise it's fine. Then we try to print the grade using switch for average. You remember in the previous video we have those similar practical example. Now maybe the thing that's new is that how can you use the control flow statement to print this. Okay, let's go to our IDE, our text editor, to try to do this lab. So we this time we try to, let's write maybe our class, I don't know, let's call it maybe public class control flow, maybe call it control. Okay, public static void main, our using void main, maybe string args, for instance. Okay, as I say, text editor will help you to understand exactly a problem about maybe some values or some thing you want to print. Okay, so let's maybe create our variable. For instance, let's have maybe int, let's say this mark 1, first mark, for instance, is 70, just one example. Then okay, let's do it together, since now you know how to create all this value. 18, then another one, mark 3, that we can call m3, is maybe 60, just one example. Okay, so as we know, int average, we know the formula that average is the sum of the 3, m1, then m2 plus m3, as you can see, divided by 3, for instance. Okay, so maybe to simplify, we just put all here. I think to go fast is I think so that, okay, so as you can see here, now we can try to do the condition that we see. If the average is bigger than 50, okay, sorry, then 50. You see, and remember a previous chapter, and is what? And is if m1 is also bigger than 40, is what we say. And again, to go fast, I can copy this one, and m2 also. So I do simple, but of course there's a way to do this quickly. And m3 also bigger than this. What the code say? He said that we have to print system out dot println. As you can see here, we say what? Pass. As you can see, right? Then we don't forget to close the if. Then else what? Else what to do? We say to print file. As you can see, system out print file, and they close the else condition. As you can see, then now we say to use the switch. Don't forget the switch condition to print. Average, sorry, for instance this. Then now we'll have vertical close also. Then what we have, so case, so this is just the condition from the question. Okay, case 10. Okay, then case 9. As you can see, system out print. Let's copy this, system out print, maybe grade A. Then we do our break. Okay, same thing. Case I will later change them to go fast. Case 8, case 7, and finally our default. System out print, maybe this D, C, then B, as you can see. Okay, all right, so now let's save to see if there's syntax error or no. Let's call, don't forget we call it control flow. So control flow, because it's a file.java, it should be same name as the class name, control flow.java. Okay, so now let's try to see if there is syntax or anything that is wrong that you forget. We can easily see it when we try to compile. So now let's go inside. Remember we showed you this in the first video, cmd, so we go directly to our content file. Okay, so let's do our java c to compile the file. If there is error, we'll easily see it compared to if it is an id, as we say. So control flow, let's see if something is wrong. Oh, at line 13, I like this one because it always shows that something wrong or no. So at line 13 I forgot something. You know what exactly is it. So you see line 13 is this one. So let's see if average is bigger than this and this one, right? And m this. Oh, I see. You see exactly. I always forget the key word and there's this one. So it's not I do the like pseudo code, but some pseudo code, and this correct, this one is correct, this one is correct. Now and I close, that's nice. Let's compile again to see what it will tell us, if there's something wrong or no again. Now is last 29. What I forget again, control Java C 29, I forget something. Oh, maybe what is this, I forget the which one is there. Oh, even this case here I have not give anything for case, which is okay, average. Okay, so even the condition in case, you remember I have not give the case condition for is in the so okay, let's now check the condition, how many conditions A, B, C, D. Is exactly the same or no. So as you can see here, I have this close. So the error, as you can see here, is this one I put outside of the main class. So you see how the line is good. So now every bracket is closed correctly, this also is closed correctly. So now let's compile again to see. So if you compile, okay, you see compilation now is correct, no syntax error, the compilation is correct. So now as you can see here, now let's call our Java C and we can see the compilation here. You see control class C, that is correct here. So now let's see our, as you can see here, this one Java, we call the control the Java C. Okay, so we can easily see this one Java control, then we print. So here, based on the thing, you can easily see that he gives a pass, which is our pass C. So it means he give this one. That's mean the average. If for instance, let's assume here, if the average, or if you want simply, let's try to, if the average is for instance 70, as you see, then now 70 divided by D, you give 7, which give this condition, that is case is 7, and you print C. And we can try to do this one. If you calculate maybe this one, you will exactly get 70. And it's because here, as you can see, 80 plus 70 and plus 70, 80 plus 80 and 60, you see exactly 70, right? The average, of course, sorry, the average, as you can see, I put in comment here, then the average we divide by 3, he will give exactly our 70 that you see, and 70 divided by 10, as you can see, he gave this case 7. Okay, we have directly get this 7, and he will print C. This is the reason he prints C. Okay, so as you can see, this is one example that try to resume almost what we have learned for today. And as you can see, so if you go to check, is exactly what I gave you here, the condition. We get our we assume that we have this marked for the student, and we compute the average. And as you can see here, we use a switch condition to try to print the average divided by 10, which we easily get is this. Of course, this one until it will always print according to what the student get. Okay, he obtained his mark. So to summarize this part, we can see that how control flow is very important and how we use them, and also the different types of control flow. As you can see, if the if condition, the if else, the switch, which one we have learned, and we give example to explain you our concept of think first, code later. Okay, thank you, and please don't forget to join, subscribe and like, and also comment. And thank you for all for following me. See you for the next video.